The moon is
or
hollow.
alternatively a metal sphere of some kind which is preventing more damage.
Does the uniform depth of the craters on the moon suggest some sort of metallic barrier underneath moon rock and dust? But if so, why wouldn't mainstream scientists acknowledge this? Ancient astronaut theorists suggest that by doing so, they might also have to acknowledge that the moon may be hollow.
Yankee Clipper, Houston.
November 20th, 1969. During their ascent back to the command module, Commander Charles Conrad Jr. and lunar module pilot Alan Beam released the Apollo 12 launch vehicle and crash it back to the moon.
Apollo 12, Houston, the LEM is on its way down. Roger.
Upon impact, something very unexpected happened. The moon was said to have seismically reverberated like a bell for more than an hour.
With Apollo 12, people referred to a crash. It wasn't really a crash. It was a aimed deorbit of the rocket used to lift off the lunar module. And the crew separated the launch vehicle and crashed it back into the ground right close to where they had a seismograph that they had installed down there. Well, it vibrated, so it was kind of an early clue as to how solid was the surface of the moon.
What was amazing about this is that suddenly the moon began to ring like a bell and did so for nearly an hour. Dr. Wernher von Braun, who was then the head of NASA, decided that for Apollo 13, they were going to intentionally crash a heavier portion of the rocket into the lunar surface. And when they did this, the moon rang like a gong this time for over 3 hours into a depth of over 20 miles.
This was not expected, and it still puzzles a lot of scientists today. The inference is that the moon must be hollow because the moon is made predominantly on the surface of a kind of rock called basalt. Although it's a very lightweight rock, it also absorbs impact extremely well. And so if the whole of the moon was made of that kind of rock, you wouldn't expect it to reverberate when a large impact took place. The reason that this is played down is because the idea of the moon being hollow just contradicts what we know about physics.